I appreciate everyone coming out. Somewhat out of the way strip of road here. I know it's not very long, but to a local government geek like myself, it's beautiful. It kind of reminds me of my children when they're asleep. They're never more beautiful than they are at that moment. All right, this road will never be prettier. All right, but pretty soon there's going to be cars and trucks rolling on it, and there'll be businesses that open up on the parcels that this road opens up. Really complements the new road and the new businesses to the south of here. And I realize that it just seems like a road, but let me tell you why it's more than just a road. The owner of the properties here to the east and west, Bob Boyes. Bob is here, and do you have your orange hat on, Bob? There you are, in the orange hat. He came to my office about 5 years ago with a stack of environmental studies a foot thick, and I'm not exaggerating, am I, Bob? It seemed like 10 years, I know, but it was a foot thick. And the results of those studies made it almost impossible for Bob to realize the value of something that should be some valuable commercial property. He was exasperated, I think that's fair to say. He didn't want to leave a contaminated legacy. So he and I talked at length about some options, and I asked him to give us some time to work out a solution. He stuck with us. The EPA, the Kansas Department of Health and Environment, various city departments, property owners and consultants all engaged thoughtfully and productively and provided resources and services that really led to the solution that we're looking at here. Since it took 5 years, I think you can guess that the solution took some effort. But it really shows what makes the project special. It shows genuine effort by the public and private sectors. It shows state, federal, and local governments bearing and sharing responsibility. It shows property owners and consultants productively engaged throughout the process. The result is what you see here. There's a clean site now and for future generations, improved traffic flow and safety, and new development opportunities in one of the most active commercial areas in town. What was once an eyesore is now fertile opportunity. I'll always see this road as an example of the best in people and organizations. We argued, and we did. We negotiated, we compromised, and we committed, always respecting each other's interests, roles, and dignity. In the end, we were able to do together what we couldn't do separately. That's what I see here, and that's what we're always going to be doing. It's what we're always going to be working for. I'd like to turn this over to Secretary Lee Norman from KDHE, which played a crucial role in making this project successful.
This is a rather daunting tool that I see up here. Is that how you got things done? Well, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Lee Norman, and I am indeed the Secretary of the Kansas Department of Health and Environment. And it's not coincidental that health and environment are linked. And I think that the project and the work that we see around us are just a terrific example of a local and state, especially, partnership. The Environmental Stewardship Fund was key in helping to make this come to light, but there's creative and visionary thinking on the part of so many of the local people here. And I know Representative Murnan is here as well, Governor. It really takes a terrific cooperation, local, state, and federal, to make this happen, as was pointed out. I've been a doctor for over 40 years, and when I see a site like this, I think of almost like a fish. You know, a fish lives in water, but it probably doesn't think much about the water that it swims around in. And I think sometimes we as humans don't give the thought to the world that we live in very much. And yet it's just as critical to us. And I've seen kids with toxic lead levels in their bodies. I've seen x-rays of older people that have lead deposition in their bodies that will probably never go away, and I know has untoward consequences for them. So from an environmental perspective, I think that this is an example, and we have others going on around the state, but this is a shining example of the cooperation that can lead to a healthier environment. And that doesn't even include the commerce. And what I think of is our way of life, which is to be in a healthy environment. When we have attractive surroundings that are productive and safe, as people, we're more productive and we're more content as well. It leads to, I think, even our mental health. So, yes, I look at it as a KDHE secretary, but I also look at it as a physician and a citizen. And I think that this just shows a lot of dedication. I'd also like to thank Bob Juergens, who's back there. Wave your hand, Bob. He is the head of the Bureau of Environmental Remediation. He's the one from the department level, from the bureau level, that shepherded that the stewardship fund to make sure this came to light, and I want to make sure that he gets the credit for that as well. So thank you very much for the opportunity to be here on this beautiful day. I appreciate it very much.
Hi everybody, I'm Monica Murnan and I'm really pleased to be here today. I was on the City Commission when this project was first being rolled around, and everybody said, where are you talking? Well, if you go behind the old all quit, you know, that whole thing. And even coming out here today, it's really disorienting to think where exactly am I, because we have actually made great use of land that previously was very, you know, dangerous to us, even though sometimes we don't recognize that because we are so close to it. So as state representative, I am really, really lucky to have the chance to work with people who not only get the big picture, but also get what that looks like at home, wherever home is, wherever you define it. And Secretary Norman is one of those people that is going to continue to bring good things to us here in Crawford County, because he understands what it looks like on the ground, but also understands the big policy picture. So we're so pleased that he's here again. He recently was here and glad he's back. Another thing that I have really, really enjoyed and being in the legislature is an opportunity to see people who are really good at being public servants, who are really good at understanding the difference between politics and policy, and also understanding when the two have to meet. When I went to the legislature, had somebody who was really, really kind to me when they didn't have to be kind to me. They didn't have to say, hey, the bathroom is that way, or anything else. But it wasn't surprising, and that was Laura Kelly when she was serving as senator. And she acted as if I were her equal when I was no way near that. And that is how she really believes, and that is who she really is. And that's why we are so lucky to have her as our governor, because she understands Kansas, she understands the differences and the similarities, and she understands the importance of projects like this that may not be super important to anybody else, but it's a big deal to us. And she understands how to put the right people in the right places to make things happen. So I'm really, really honored to introduce you today to our governor, Laura Kelly. Hold on to your hat. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Monica. Before I start, I would just like to say two things. One, I am your third female governor of the state of Kansas. And soon, if the winds don't stop, I will be your first female bald governor of Kansas. I can't take this. And then second, totally spontaneously, I just ran into Dick Horton, who I think most of you must know. Dick Horton was on the search team looking for the first executive director for the Kansas Recreation and Park Association 34 years ago, I believe. And Dick came to Salina, where the interview was held. I met with him and some other Park and Rec people, and it was Dick and others. And I think it was actually, you were president at the time, so of the association. So I think it was actually Dick's choice to hire me, and I thank you for that. So I am very pleased to be back in Pittsburgh. I've spent a lot of time here over the campaign season, but even time before that. I've come down before with Representative Murnan, particularly to tour your early childhood opportunities and your safety net clinic that you have in this area. It is second to none. And it's been my pleasure really to work with Representative Murnan very closely, particularly on early childhood education initiatives. We both share a passion for that. Anyway, this I read about this before I came down because I really wanted to know what I was doing. And so I know that this was actually a former smelting plant called the Weir City Zinc Works. And it was an orphan site, which meant basically that nobody wanted to take responsibility for cleaning it up. You know, they abandoned the place and left it for you all to deal with. And I know that it was polluted and it was not usable for any sort of development. And so I think it stood untouched for years because this was developed in the 1800s sometime. When? 18th century, yeah. But, you know, today it goes back into use. And I do want to recognize the team effort and the leadership that went into this project. Through collaboration with Secretary Norman's agency, Kansas Department of Health and Environment, and the adjacent property owners, Norman Miller and the boys who are here today. The city of Pittsburgh, obviously, at Burns and McDonnell, and the EPA. And with all of that cooperation, we're able to complete the remediation of this property and cut the ribbon today. Those efforts set an example for other communities. When motivated individuals work together, no matter how difficult it is, to better their communities, we do see real results like this. The success of this remediation results in the extension of North Walnut from 28th to 29th. But what does that really mean to the community of Pittsburgh? It means access. This new roadway connects businesses, communities, and provides development opportunities for the city. And as an added bonus, it cleans up this location and makes it safe now and into the future. You know, Pittsburgh has always been a town for working families. And it was once an ideal location for zinc and lead smelting way back in the late 1800s. They became an integral part of this community, and now this town will prosper as this old smelting site transitions into a modern-day development opportunity. This roadway will connect Pittsburgh and benefit both the environment and the local economy. And I applaud the collaboration that went into this project. I've heard that several businesses have already expressed interest in coming here. That will mean more jobs, more businesses, obviously, and a healthier community. And I do appreciate your allowing me to be here today to take part in this celebration. So without further ado, let's cut the ribbon. You're gonna go that way?
Right over there.
Okay.
Are you off of it? Back up.
No, we were just so happy. She's so
Why don't you stand on that?
it's from the heart. Yeah, it really is.
Sarah does the counting.
Sarah's
Sarah, you do the
Wait,
counting.
who's from KDHE? Got KDHE in here?
Lee, I was gonna say.
Lee?
Over a little bit. Then
I've never seen you take your eye out of the scope.
I love the hat. Yeah, old school. I haven't had a chance to you, but you were kind of busy, so. What's that? I think might ask Sarah.
That camera lost signal over there, or at least it was poor. I think I was too far.